Deloitte is the only firm out of the Big Four who has the strong practice of consulting. They have a separate entity for it. In my team, it was pretty diversified, a lot of different people in there. When I first joined Deloitte, it only has 30 people, but they have 22 different countries' identity. It was a very diversified team. They appreciate your idea. Consulting to me is also quite different from in-person banking job. People are more friendly, less intensive. It's a key to open a lot of doors, and people will treasure the experience you have in consulting because it just really makes you grow so much faster than other industries. You have to listen what your client really needs instead of lay out all your ideas. A critical thinker, so I like to think a lot. Passion to learn. Every day is a new day. You work with new people, you work with new case, you learn stuff every day. Approachable. Consulting is more on the people management side. When people find you nice, everything moves smoother. GPA doesn't really matter. But of course, like everyone has really good GPA for applying consulting. We more focus on the qualities of the person. So GPA is just key to get into the interview. More likely, we look at the internship experience, what kind of extracurricular activities they have done. So GPA won't be affected. That determines whether you get a job or not. Once you get into an interview, what you can do is to differentiate yourself against your peers. Not really, but majority are business majors, more on the macro and micro stuff, so more on the market study. There are engineers, those guys will be more on the quantitative side. So different majors provide different kinds of needs. Managers will observe how collaborative you are, like what kind of person you are. Sometimes you may not be outspoken, still can get chosen because you think before you speak. Consulting is not for domination, it's more on the teamwork. I started off with audit internship, then I went into an insurance firm for wealth management internship as well. It's more on the sales side because that's one of the experience that brings me to knowing how to talk to others, how to pitch yourself, how to sell yourself. Then I work in MTR as budgeting analyst. Then I move on to work in a hedge fund in the US. That one is more combination of sales and also cold calling to clients. One of the obstacles is feel lost every time you got approached about work. There's some area you have never been taught before. You don't even know what the heck is that. You feel frustrated, don't know how to approach stuff, you don't even know what is the framework, but that's something that we all have to go through. Usually when I face obstacles, what I do is just pull out a blank piece of paper to do some sketch, draw out what I really want to do, and also what is my goal, trying to achieve it step by step. Sometimes it takes like 2 or 3 days, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 weeks, but it's something that we have to constantly learn, and I wouldn't say it's something that you can avoid. It's more like how you deal with it. You have to calm yourself down because you used to panic. Like if you get something unfamiliar, it's like stepping out of your comfort zone. But the thing is, for myself, I'm more on the calm side, so I just calm myself and then I will know the way to do it. Something to stand out and something unique to yourself, something that shines from your CV and catch our eyes, because we will read 200 or 300 CVs. Everyone is like, oh, I do volunteering, I do maybe piano or whatever. Focus on 1 or 2 things rather than bluffing around everything you have done. Obviously, coursework is coursework. It's quite different from real life. Just talk to the people from the industry, you learn and you know the insights from them. It's more important than you just study a lot. I did a lot of internships, but nothing really related to consulting. Consulting internships is good to have. If you join the consulting club in the school and they give you real case practice, it's also the same thing as you get an internship. For someone who is ambitious to get into consulting, it requires a lot of hard work and dedication. Get prepared early, like really early, to understand what really consulting is. Actually, that's one of the questions that differentiates all the candidates.